I mean, a lot of us remember the F1 race here that evolved into the IndyCar race, and then you guys moved out here. But why is it important to get back downtown? And number two, is that track going to be sort of an homage to the track before, but like you said, with modern conveniences?
Yeah, I think Michael can answer with me, because we know that the decision that when it was made, we're going downtown, was after Nashville. It was late. It wasn't until August 7th, 8th, or 9th last year when the Nashville race happened. And we saw that, and we came back here on Monday morning and said, let's find a way to bring it downtown, because that's when we made the decision. And then it was where. Yeah. And Michael will tell you, he had a design originally in his head and on paper. I went down and looked at it a couple times. There were a couple challenges with that design. His design was through the Lodge Tunnel. Remember that?
Yeah, you're putting it nicely. I'm not going to be a racetrack designer or anything.
So we found a better route, and the old route, though, if you remember, went down Atwater Street through the tunnel, but it also went up into the Midtown area, Larned and Woodward and Rush Street. You couldn't do that anymore. There's too much business there now, too many restaurants there now. So we had to watch that. You also can't shut the Windsor Tunnel down. You can't shut the tunnel down to grow. There are 3,000 nurses that come from Canada every day to our hospitals in the U.S. 3,000 nurses, and you can't inhibit them. They can use the Ambassador Bridge, but a lot of them might use the tunnel. So we had to design a place, and the hardest part to find was this. Where do you go somewhere to find 20-some acres of paddock space? Yeah. And 1,000+ feet of pit lane. Where do you find both together, contiguous? Good luck. So Ford Field was the likely answer to that one, but Ford Field doesn't have a lot of parking, like most fields do. Right? They have parking decks, not parking spaces. So it was to go down to the Ren Center. And then our pit lane still wasn't long enough. So what we do there? So Michael designed a pit lane where next year, as I mentioned, you're going to go in. Some cars will pit to the right, some cars will pit to the left. At the end, they'll figure out how to get back on the track. Will Power asked me a question, well, how are we going to do that? I said, well, you're a professional race car driver. You'll figure it out, right, Lauren? They'll always figure it out, those drivers.
But I missed it. Where's the paddock going to be? I mean,
paddock is going to be next to the Renaissance Center. Okay. There is a massive parking lot on the riverside where all the GM employees park. And there's across the street on Atwater, there's another massive parking lot where the Blue Cross Blue Shield employees park. And that Blue Cross Blue Shield will be where the pit lane is. And behind there we'll have the chalets and whatnot. So we have enough space. And we'll also use Atwater Street that we're not going to use for the race, for the motor coaches, team hospitality. So it all will be down in that area. But imagine having your haulers now on the riverfront of Detroit, because it will be right on the riverfront. It'll be beautiful. Yeah. So it's a 1.7 mile track. It's smaller than here. This is 2.4 miles. So it'll be more laps, which is good for the fans. They can see the cars more often. We have a lot of roads to improve. Before you leave here, I suggest you ride the route one time and just get an idea where it is, if you haven't already. So we have some improvements to make to the roads, but they're not going to be smooth. They're not going to be an oval type, but they will be smoother than they are today.